Have you been thinking about becoming an assistant principal? Do you know if you've got what it takes or not? Has someone told you that you would make a great assistant principal? Would you like to know in advance maybe what some of the benefits and cons are? Well, stay tuned. Hi, Skillful teachers, and welcome to Skillful Teaching with Dr. Angela. If you're new to my channel, first of all, thanks for watching. I'm Angela McCord, Skillful teacher turned education consultant. I created this channel to motivate, inspire, and uplift teachers everywhere, and also build a bigger collaboration and professional learning network for myself and others. Please check out this video, which is my premiere video, and it will outline what kind of videos I will have on this channel. So today you are in for a treat. This is my Wisdom Wednesday series, and today I have a guest that's going to talk to us about, so you want to be an assistant principal? Sometimes we as teachers don't know if we want to step into that realm or not. So I have a skillful teacher turned assistant principal, and she's going to talk with us today. Well, actually, you're going to see our interview. I know you are going to enjoy her. Her name is Davina Coleman, and without further ado, check out our interview. Thank you so much, Ms. Davina Coleman, for joining us today on my channel. So you want to be an assistant principal.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So let's get started. We have some questions for our skillful teachers today. There may be teachers who are thinking about the role of an assistant principal, and they may be aspiring assistant principals. I know from experience that you were definitely a skillful teacher in the classroom, which is why I asked for you to come today and share some information with us. First off, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Davina Coleman, as she said. I'm the assistant principal at Robert Smalls International Academy, pre-K through 8 school here in Beaufort, South Carolina. I started out my teaching career in Hawaii, teaching adult learners, Marine Corps, sailors, and their dependents. Shifted from Hawaii to South Carolina, where I started my career in the public education field. I taught at Beaufort Middle School for 5 years. There I was a math teacher, middle school math teacher, department chair, grade level chair, you name it. I jumped in and took over that role with honor, and it was a privilege underneath the leadership of Carol Ingram. And then I shifted to Robert Smalls International Academy, where I was the numeracy coach for 2 years, and now I'm currently in my second year as their assistant principal.
That is awesome. Quite an impressive track record for a skillful teacher. Tell us why you aspired to be an assistant principal.
So for those viewing who don't know, Angela was my numeracy coach. And so part of working with instructional coaches inside of the classroom and having the leadership of the principal that I had, they're pushers, and they will push you to greatness. They will find that untapped potential within you, and they know they have a way of bringing it out. And so I never had aspirations at the beginning to be an administrator, but as I went through the leadership of being in the classroom and being put in all the teacher leadership positions, I realized that I had a little bit more in me that could go beyond the classroom. I was helping to develop induction teachers and helping to evaluate those who are on staff with me, my peers. Matter of fact, a little known fact is when I came to the middle school that I initially started with here in Beaufort, Angela, I don't even know if you noticed, but the person that I student taught with, within 2 years, I was her evaluator. And so I moved pretty quickly within my teaching career, and I knew that I had a knack for developing teachers. So my first thing was instructional coaching. And as I became an instructional coach, I realized that there was more leadership within me, and that's what put me on the path to become an administrator.
I love how you mentioned about developing teachers. It is all about that relationship, and you did that as a teacher yourself with those relationships. Tell me some of the qualities that you think a skillful teacher has.
The first quality, and people probably are not going to believe that this is my first quality, but it's to be coachable. You know, a lot of people think I got to know my content and all this other stuff. It doesn't matter how much you know your content, how much you know pedagogy, but if you're not coachable, you cannot be a skillful teacher. There's a book called Good to Great, and it said you have to have 3 things to move from a level of being just good to a place of greatness. That you have to have passion, a skill set, and the ability to make money. When you come to become a teacher, you're going to have the ability to make money. You're on contract, so you're going to get paid. So that's not an issue. So now the next thing you need to deal with is, do you have the skill set? You can come with the skill set. I would say, and it's not arrogant, but it's me being confident. I was a darn good teacher, but knowing my craft did not make me great. It was the fact that I was coachable. There were things that I knew, and there were some things that I really did not know. And being able to bounce ideas off, and it's not being coached just by those who are in a supervisory role above you, but being coached by your peers too. Being able to collaborate, that collaboration is huge. In addition to that, to be a skillful teacher, you gotta have passion. You know, when you show up to work in education, you're not showing up to go to a job. Principal Kafale said you show up and you go to your mission field. And so if you're a skillful teacher, you show up every day to your mission. And when you show up to a mission, you know that whether if it's good or bad day, you're going to tough it out and you're going to hang on in there. You're going to show up for your kids. We have a motto this year at our school is don't just show up, but step up. And so skillful teachers step up. You only show up to work every day for that check. And you love your babies. You have a passion for children. And I'm not just talking about the children who behave. You have a passion for all kids, not just the children who understand your content and can master it. You have a passion for all kids. So if you're a skillful teacher, you got to be coachable. There were days that I was coached by my children because I made a mistake in teaching, or I harmed a relationship I had with my kids. So coaching can come from many directions, and you have to have a passion for what you do, and you show up for your mission, not your job on a daily basis.
Great characteristics of a skillful teacher. Thank you so much for sharing that.
No problem.
Tell me some of the benefits and challenges that are faced by assistant principals.
Oh, girl. There's benefits and there are cons no matter what you do. I think the greatest benefit is being able to lead and allow your leadership to come through. But I have to say that with caution because a lot of people think that when you lead, you tell people what they have to do. I'm talking about that servant leadership, when you come along with your staff. Another benefit is the relationships you build. You know, as a classroom teacher, one of the things I've always missed is the relationships I had with my kids. You know, you get 30 or 35 kids in that room and you know them for a whole year, right? And if you're in the middle school or high school setting, you have at least 4 sets of them. You're going to have over 100 kids that you know really well. That's a con to me being a principal is I don't have those in-depth relationships with all my kids. You know, you get those in-depth relationships with some of your children. You know all of them by face, but one-on-one relationships, you don't have it like you have it in the classroom. So like Teacher Appreciation Week, girl, I used to love my gift cards and all that other good stuff. I don't get that no more. I have some kids who bring it, but it used to be filled with so much joy and love during Teacher Appreciation Week. A benefit is the relationships you get to build with more than just the kids that would have been in your classroom. So now I'm open to relationships with 715 kids, not just 100. I'm open to relationships with 70 staff members, not just the 7 that I worked on the team with. One thing that happens when you're a teacher, you can have a staff with a lot of people, but you only get to know the people on your hallway. And so you walk by some days like, who that is? You know, or hey girl, but you really don't know who that girl is. I now know 70 staff members. I can tell you something great about each one of my staff members that I didn't get a chance to know inside the classroom. So that is a pro for me. Another pro is getting to see your vision, which is also a con. It has a flip side to it because as an assistant principal, you want to be a leader, so you have vision. So you come to work with vision, but you have to be reminded that this is not your school. That sometimes can be kind of tricky and challenging because you want your vision to come to life, but it's not your season for your vision to come to life. It's the season for your principal's vision to come along and for you to come alongside your principal. So one of the things that I would say that is challenging, but you have to maneuver really skillfully, there's a saying that you should blossom where you're planted. And so in blossoming where I am planted, there are some times that I need to understand that as long as my principal and I have the same end result. So we're both headed in the same direction. We want student achievement, right? We want a school with great culture. As long as our end goal is the same, it doesn't matter how she navigates getting to that end goal. I might see us doing something and it's going to take us A to B and we're done and we're there. She can do it or he can do it and it's going to take A to Z to get it done. My job is not to become frustrated because it's going to take A to Z to get it done when we could have done it in A to B. It's my job to go with them A, B, C, D and move on because of the fact our end goal is the same. So if I'm going to boss them where I'm planted, whether I like the decision of my principal or not, I travel and I maneuver with my principal because our end goal is the same. And so it can be a con, especially if you're a visionary. Like I'm a visionary. I want my visions to come to life. You know, like I got this wonderful idea. Let's do it. But it's not my season. It's my season to make the vision manifest itself according to the direction of my principal leadership. So another challenge you will face, but I'm going to teach you how to overcome this challenge. And I mentioned it earlier, is that it can be a lonely walk. And so with it being a lonely walk, it's critical as an administrator for you to have a mentor. That mentor is not just someone that you can that can be your confidant that you can speak with, but your mentor helps to guide you. Everybody in your life, you need what I call a spiritual Sherpa. So if you were climbing a mountain, there are Sherpas that teach you how to breathe as you go a little bit higher in elevation. Well, this realm of administrator is a different level of elevation than being a teacher. So you need to have a coach that can teach you how to breathe in this realm of being an administrator. They can give you the guide and the tools that you need. So if you are currently an administrator or you have hopes of becoming an administrator, you must have a mentor. That is extremely critical. So that's just some of the pros and cons that off the top of my mind.
Well, those are great. That is great insight. That is great insight. Thank you so much for that wisdom. I have a little strategy. You've probably seen it in the classroom, 3 truths and a lie. So I'm just going to kind of end it with that and do it, webinar interview style. So as far as the position of assistant principal, tell us 3 truths and a lie.
Okay, let's start with the lie first. The lie that a lot of people want to believe is that we know everything. We don't know everything. You get a lot of emails just like we get a lot of emails. You have to take time to read it. If I can plan my office, you will see all the emails I have to print just so I can make sure I stay in the know. But there are some things that you're not going to be in the know about because as assistant principal, we're all given roles. So for example, my role is instruction. So I'm going to know instruction and I'm going to know testing. The role of the other AP is like building and facilities and textbooks. That's not my role to know. And so if I have somebody to come ask me about a work order, I can't help you. Like there's nothing I can do for you because that's his role. In addition, there are people who are tasked with certain stuff in the building. And so if I as an administrator know everything, then I'm not building the capacity of those who I lead. So that is a lie. We do not know everything. Now we can research and find your answer, but we don't know everything. So stop putting that pressure on us because we're not rising to the occasion with that. So that's the lie. A truth, we work hard. And I need to say that because as a teacher, when I used to look at some of my APs, I'm like, what do they do all day? I'm in this class slaving and they just walking around on the walkie-talkie. You know, you really didn't think that your administrators did that much. I judged a lot as a teacher when it came to my administrative staff. Now that I'm in the role, I realize many of my judgments were in error. When everybody else go home, administrators are still in the building. When teachers are grading papers, we're dealing with some HR stuff that you have no clue about. So that is a truth that people really need to understand, is your administrators work hard. Another truth that people need to know is as an administrator can be a very lonely road. You go through things and you can't tell people. You gotta wear the whole school on your shoulders sometimes, and you have to smile in the midst of your pain, in the midst of your frustrations. You can't share it. You can't share your principal just got on your nerves, the other AP got on your nerves, the whole teacher staff getting on your nerves. You know, like everybody gonna work your last nerve. You can't share that. And so it can be very lonely because you have to deal with everything yourself. you have to have a place to vent, but that place to vent cannot be in your school. So there is no confidant that you find within your school. And if you like me, I don't got no husband. So there is not, I can't go home and say, babe, da 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 da. So a lot of stuff, and you can't talk to your family members because they're not educators and they don't get it. And so it can be a very lonely road being an administrator. And I guess the third truth is, can I do another lie?
Let me just say this. You have always been one to reinvent the wheel ever since I met you, so go ahead.
Okay, good. Another lie is we like doing discipline. We do not like doing discipline. Discipline is the least favorite part of my job. I love going to classrooms and being an extra teacher. I like observing and providing valuable feedback that's going to help push you further. Like, those are things that I enjoy. Disciplining children is not enjoyable. When you become the disciplinarian, you are harming the relationship with kids over and over again. I have a student, and he run it as a joke. I hate being in the office, so I'm not in this space a lot. I have a mobile cart, and so I'm in the hallways a lot. And so if a child gets a referral, I'm going with my cart and my laptop, knock, knock, come in, baby, let's talk. But he said, oh, goodness, there go DNC. I said, DNC? What do you mean? No, DNC. I said, DNC, what does that mean? He said, Bad News Coleman. He said, every time you come with that cart, Miss Coleman, it's bad news. I got another referral. Luckily, we have a great relationship. Me and him are really good. But there's other students who that might be the stigma. I'm Bad News Coleman because sometimes when you have to deal with me, especially for the kids who get a lot of referrals, before I can go and make deposits into them, I'm withdrawing things because I have to go put them in school suspension, or I have to suspend them because of what they did. And so that's not enjoyable. We don't just want to discipline. And because I was a teacher before, those are the things I love. I love children. I love my relationships with kids. I don't only want to be seen as a disciplinarian. To me, some days it's like, it's just not fair. So I did 2 truths and 2 lies.
Thank you so much. I will take it. Thank you again for this time. I appreciate it so much, you taking the time out, Ms. Davina Coleman, to do this interview for us, because you gave some valuable insight. I really like how you shared the insight where, as a teacher, you thought administrators might not have been doing as much. Because one thing I've heard, not a whole lot of people, but as I go and collaborate with teachers in different places and different schools, I have heard conversations with me before where someone would say, I'm ready to get out of the classroom. This is too much work. I'm tired of taking work home and grading all these papers. But I'm glad you clarified that, because administrators have a whole lot of work too. It's just a different type of work.
Right.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it's probably more stressful than the work that you take home. Now, I'm not going to say probably. I'm just going to go ahead and put this on record. Being an administrator, the work that you have to take home is more stressful than the work you take home as a teacher. When I take home work as a teacher, I'm taking home my lesson plans. I'm planning for my children's lessons. I'm grading papers. I might be making phone calls, whatever the case may be. When I take work home as an administrator, sometimes what I take home is somebody else's career. Do I need to write them up? Is a letter going to go in file for what they did? That's a lot of weight. When somebody's whole career lays in your hand and you're a determining factor, or what do? You have ethics that you have to go by. So there's no sweeping stuff under the rug. If you was wrong, I have to deal with that. I have to take home the fact that a child is missing or a child was abused, and I can't share that with staff members. I have to take that weight, and I have to take that home, and I have to figure that out. And so I would have never, like I said, I judged hard when it came to administrators, and I need to go on record and say, I'm sorry. Like, I apologize to every administrator on the behalf of a teacher who thought you really did not do much. And now, don't get me wrong, y'all, because there's some people that don't do that much. So I'm gonna come closer to the camera and say, there are some administrators who are not pulling their weight. They're being paid a lot of money to do not that much of work. I'm just not one of them. I work. And this has been one of the toughest jobs that I've had in my educational career.
I know that someone listening has heard something valuable to help them in making decisions. They may have been thinking, hey, I want to be an AP, or they may have been thinking, maybe someone else told them, hey, you should go into administration. And they might feel like, oh, that I don't know that that's for me or not, or what have you. But I think that, your sharing was great today, and all of that information that you gave in light of the career, the preparedness along the way. I just thank you so much. We really appreciate it. So, you want to be an assistant principal? Then take some of those tips, recommendations, and ideas from skillful teacher to assistant principal, Miss Davina Coleman. She shared some great attributes from skillful teacher all the way to assistant principal that you may possess. Also, there's a book that she mentioned, Good to Great. If you'd like to check that out, I have a link in the description box below. And that's a great book. It's really about business, but if you think about it, as a teacher, the best way to run that classroom is going to be like a business. I have some other great interviews coming up, so go ahead and give me a thumbs up and click on that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and like and share my video. Also, leave a comment if you'd like to see some interviews with certain skillful teachers. Let me know. I'm open for ideas, because we know that quality teaching is quality education.